Welcome to the NoDQ Roundtable. In this series, members of the NoDQ panel will give their answers to a wrestling question submitted by one of their colleagues. Let us now take a look at what today's question is.
I actually did this question here. If The Rock was willing to comply and be around to help build for WrestleMania 41 and even make an appearance, maybe including a match, how would you have booked him?
Well, since we're on the other side of that, I would say that, him not being there, if Cena's going to be off on his own and not have his ties to The Rock, then he didn't necessarily need to be there. I would change how they did the build.
I would have gone back to the Raw after Netflix, the premiere there. And when The Rock put the Ulafala onto Roman Reigns, I would have had him raise Roman's arm in the air, go to give him a hug, and then rock bottom right in the center of the ring. Then take the Ulafala back off of Roman's neck and put it on his own.
If The Rock is full on board for the build to WrestleMania 41, he's able to get his training camp, then you do the match that we have all been waiting for. Roman Reigns versus The Rock.
WrestleMania, Roman Reigns versus The Rock. And in the interim, you have them cutting promos back and forth on social media, similar to what The Rock did last year heading into WrestleMania 40. Roman can then reply to those. That way, neither one of them has to be on the show each week. But on Raw, you can have a promo from Rock, and on SmackDown, you can have Roman's reply. And you just do this back and forth to build the anticipation between the two of them for the match at WrestleMania 41.
That's what you do. Rock and Roman Reigns, you build up the match. You got off to a good start with the whole Ulafala. Could have had The Rock go ahead and say, "You are the tribal chief." But remember, The Rock is the high chief. And we're off to the races, and you build that attention between them. And hey, at that point, I'm going to have to main event it at WrestleMania 41 Night 2, because I definitely would want to make sure CM Punk is still at least getting that Night 1 main event. But yeah, that's what you do. You do The Rock versus Roman Reigns, and you finally finish that story. And then, hey, if The Rock feels like he can still go, and it's not going to take too much on his body or not take too much on his schedule, then we can get back to Cody and Rock later on. But yeah, that's what you do. You finally get this Rock and Roman Reigns match out of the way.
I would have liked to have seen The Rock go up against Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41. That is what I wanted. That is what I think the majority of fans wanted for WrestleMania. Either that or Roman Reigns. The Rock versus Cody Rhodes was set up right after WrestleMania 40. The Rock teased it and then did not deliver. That was the match people were wanting to see. That was a blood feud. The Rock beat Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 40. I think they should have had the follow-up at WrestleMania 41, but instead, The Rock decided to essentially kill off the heat for that match, and that was very disappointing.
I would have booked him at the end of the Cena and Cody match.
What I would have done is I would have had The Rock come out on Raws and SmackDowns after Elimination Chamber if Cena couldn't be there and go toe-to-toe with Cody, but then bring Cena in. All I would have had Rock done was be in Cena's corner at Mania. Then we would have perhaps gotten what should have happened last year, which was the Stone Cold Stunner to The Rock.
It's one of those things where if The Rock was going to comply, I would actually have wanted him to come out at the moment of the ref bump, told Cody without saying words, "You broke my heart," give him one last countdown. That one turns into a bird. He screws the American Nightmare, and he somehow brings his own referee in place, someone we don't expect, and he's the one that allows Cena to get number 17. But again, just my opinion.
Definitely I would have had him show up a little bit more. Not as much as last year, but at least show up at one of the European shows or, one of the shows before WrestleMania, that when they came back to the States, and definitely had cut a promo with Cena explaining, why he and Cena teamed up.
This question is about whether he was there. Now, if he was there in some capacity, I would have had him kind of come out and do the exact same thing that Travis Scott did. I think that would have worked just fine. He could have come out, could have taken the crossroads from Cody, still been the catalyst for Cena winning.
That concludes this edition of the No DQ Roundtable. What were your thoughts on the question? Leave a comment and subscribe to the No DQ YouTube channel for the latest wrestling news and discussion.